Hey guys, it's Ewok Pilot here, and today we finally have it, the long-awaited tutorial on how to modify your LEGO MTT. Now, before we get started, I just wanted to say that only a small percentage of you guys are subscribed, so if you're not subscribed yet, it would mean a huge deal to me if you would subscribe so you can keep seeing my future uploads. It helps support me so I can keep making these videos, because otherwise I just don't have the time or resources to put money and effort into these videos. So if you would do that, it would be a huge support to me, guys. Also, this won't be a full, all like step-by-step tutorial for every little bit, as I don't entirely remember how I put all this together, and I don't have the time to completely reverse engineer the whole thing. So I will do my best on the droid rack. I can show you a step-by-step tutorial on that. But for everything else, I will show you detailed pictures of the interior and what I did to make it fit. And this, I'll try to get as best pictures as I possibly can, but this will basically be something you have to figure out on your own. It's really not that hard. It didn't take me that much effort, but moving this back a few studs is something you're gonna have to figure out. But without further ado, let's get right into this long-awaited tutorial. Now guys, to start us out, I have gone ahead and removed the droid rack from the MTT. I will go ahead and show you how you're supposed to implement it, because it's a little bit different than how the actual LEGO set implements it. I'll go ahead and show you that at the end. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and close this up, and we're going to move this off to the side. And now that the MTT has been moved, we can go ahead and get into the tutorial on how to build this droid rack. Now I'm going to break this down into little sections, and then we're going to put all the sections together, kind of like my mini invisible hand video. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that, but if you haven't, I do recommend going to watch that. It's also it's one of my first tutorial videos I've ever made. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do a quick overview of how this functions again, just so y'all know. You got this folds out just like that on both sides, and yeah, that's pretty much how this thing works. Now I'm going to go ahead and take some bits apart, and I'm going to show you what you need to build it, and I'm going to build it with you guys. Now, because of how simplistic this whole entire thing really is and how easy it is to see everything, seeing as it's only one brick wide, I can go ahead and just show you each little bit from each little angle, and then I'll go ahead and give you a better look at what you're building. And if you have any further clarifying questions, ask them down in the comments, and I will go ahead and answer those as best as possible. So here's just give you a few good angles. And of course, feel free to pause the video whenever you want, but that is going to go ahead and be it for this section right here. Now we're going to do the same thing for this section right here. I'm just going to go ahead and give you some angles. You can pause the video if you need to look at it. This is pretty self-explanatory. Alright, we're going to move on to the next section. Now this one is a tiny bit more complicated in the bottom area. So as you can see right here on this section, it's pretty normal. You just got these outward facing clamps. You need to make sure these guys are strong right here and that they connect in really well with these pieces, because the strength of them determines how well it holds in the droids. And then you really just need a 2x2 black or gray piece of any color. It really doesn't matter, it's personal preference when it comes to the coloring. This is only blue because I did not have another gray one, and so I just went with blue. It was the strongest one I had. So yeah, it's really just up to you guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that little bit. And then down here is the only really complicated part. You need these black pegs because they're the strongest ones. The black pegs that are three studs long. So this goes through the whole thing, all the way through to right here, as you can see, and then all the way out right here. They need to be sticking out because you'll be sticking the Technic bars in there. And then you need this 1x1 gray tile right here, because you're going to have this come on top of it just like that. And then you're going to need that 1 by 1 gray tile, and this space needs to be open because it'll connect to the rest of the droid rack, and that's what actually holds it from actually falling out. Then you want to take this that we built in the last little section, and you're just going to want to put it on just like so, just like this. And yeah, that's all for this little bit right here. And now for this bottom little section, I just have a 2 by 12 black plate and then a 2 by 4 black plate right here, all connected up in the middle by a total of, what is this? This is about 12? No, this is 10 studs in length. 10 studs in length are covered up by tiles, because that's what's going to be left exposed after we're done connecting everything up. And then there still needs to be some room for the Technic beams to be put in. And then we're going to take this, we're going to take our 2 little sections from the last one, and we're just going to place them on just like so, and make sure this is set back, not entirely on. It needs to be off by 1 stud right there, just like that. And then you're going to want to take one of these that's just long enough to cover all of it, and if you can't have any tiles on top, there's not enough clearance for that. It will get stuck. Believe me, I've tried. And then that is the frame for our droid rack that we are going to be using. And now for probably the easiest step in the entire thing. Basically, we're just going to take these 2 Technic beams that have about, I think this is 7. Yeah, this is 7 peg holes in them. And you're going to want to place a black peg and then 2 black pegs, and you're on a space, put 1 at the top and then 2 holes down from it. And you're going to want to do that for one of them. Actually, you're going to want to do this twice. And then you want to make this twice as well. You're going to have 1 sticking out one side at the top, and then again 2 peg holes down. You're going to want to have either light gray or blue, as long as it's only this long on it, just sticking out. Then you're going to connect this one into right here on the 3rd hole up from the bottom. You're just going to put that in just like that. And you're going to have this, and you're going to want to do it twice. You're going to need to make 2 of these. And yeah, we're going to move on to the next step. So lastly, we're going to have this 1 by 12 assembly right here. Right here I have a 1 by 10 and then a 1 by 2 connected by a 1 by 8 plate right here. But really, as long as you just get a 1 by 12 area, and then you got you just got this little last 8 studs covered by a tile, so it looks clean. That's really all you need. And then you need one of these. It can't be, I know there's a longer version of this. It has to be the shorter one. I got these off of the 2008 Clone Walker Battle Pack, and that works just fine. And then I have these 1 by 1 clamps that I just have alternated right here just for extra strength. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to need to make 6 of these, and then for each one of these that you have, you're going to want to put it into either this hole right here, this hole right here, and this hole right here. And then I find it's easiest to go ahead and put your battle droids on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Alright, and now that you've got your droids on all of yours, you're going to go ahead and just want to put these into each of them, into each of the holes, until it lines up just like so, just like that. You want to get as close as possible. You're going to do that with each one. Just go ahead and line it up. You're going to want to have these going over. Easiest to load them in that way. Just going to want to do that for each. And there you go. You have completed that. And then you're just going to do that again, but facing the opposite direction so you can have them all be on. And then you want to take your droid rack, obviously, that we've already constructed. You're going to go ahead and want to peg these in, just like so, into the little black pegs that we already had sticking out. You can go ahead and fold these out if that's easiest. It's hard to do this while they're on the ground. Then you're going to want to go ahead and do that again on the other side. And you can go ahead and bring these two together in the middle until they meet, just like so. And then you're gonna wanna fold these little flaps up that we have on both sides. This is why they need to be strong, because the droids really try to fall out here. But yeah, once you've got that, make sure they're all closed up in the middle, just so you don't have to worry about them falling out at all. And then we're good. This is the droid rack, and now I'm gonna go ahead and show you in as much detail as possible how to connect it and how I modified the interior so that you can fit everything inside. Alright everybody, so one of the first things you're going to have to do when modifying your MTT to actually fit everything is there's going to be this little light gray peg that sticks down. It's supposed to help push, it goes over a little curve when you're it's supposed to help push this open whenever you're moving the rack out. Unfortunately, with how tall this is, you have to remove that, and you're going to have to manually open this hatch every time you want to do it. And because just how weak this little thing is right here, you're also just going to probably want to manually open the bottom as well. It's unfortunate, it loses that cool little effect, but I think it's well worth it because of the amount of droids you can fit inside and just how great it looks. And it's really not that much effort to just manually open it every time you want to move the droid rack out. You can still use this function as normal. Another thing you're going to have to do that I know most people won't be happy about is you're going to have to add another one of these 1x4 teeth pieces, which means you're going to have to add a 2x4 plate to it and just extend this entire build that goes all the way to the back. How I did that was I took off, there are usually two 1x4 teeth pieces right here. I took one of them off, and to make it symmetrical, I took both of them off, and I used it on the inside of the build in here. And because of how long this is, it usually makes this jut out a little bit more, and it also removes your ability to fit in the little droid carrier. So that is the thing that you're going to have to sacrifice when making a build like this. And that is basically all with the not taking anything apart. So now you're going to have to, if you want to get this open, you're gonna have to take this out, and I'm gonna go ahead and remove this top part so I can show you the interior of it. Alright, now with the top removed, it's gonna be a lot easier to show you all the interior of this. So I'm gonna actually have to, you're probably gonna have a bit of shaky cam because I'm gonna go handheld just so I can show you the interior a lot better. So we're gonna move a light a little bit closer just so we can see inside a lot better. Now, one of the things you're probably going to notice is how this space is different. Now, normally there is an inverted slope that goes up to meet this on either side. I had to remove that and replace it with just studs on the bottom that hold it up. Now, that does make this a little more unstable when you open it, but ultimately, without that modification, it's not going to be able to fit through. And of course, as you can see in here, there is no room for the gun rack, and you can see right down there is where I have the modified teeth piece, and that's being secured down right there. I don't know if that's good enough for y'all to see, but hopefully it is. And yeah, there's just some more areas up here that had to be modified. You have to add this stuff right here, these little slopes. That's just so the droids can ramp up because they're not being supported by anything anymore, and that's just so they can smoothly slide all the way back. There was a little gap here that is covered up now with just smooth tiles just to make the entire thing a lot smoother when it's going back into the inside. And that's another thing I had to do. And if you're running into any issues, please ask me down in the comments below. I will try my absolute best to provide y'all with as many pictures as possible. And I'm hoping, and if you need to pause the video at any point to just look at what I did, go ahead and do that and just compare it to what you have, and hopefully that will help. That is a good image of the side that you will need for sure. It's the same on both sides, of course. And then there's a good top-down view of what you need this interior to look like. And we'll get a good forward view so you can see all the way to the back, see exactly what I've changed. And yeah, remember guys, the best way to figure this out is to pause it, compare it to what you have, and just figure out what you need to modify and change so you can get it to be just like this. Now you have the exact tutorial for this thing, and then all you have to do is what I'm about to show y'all guys to attach this back to the actual sliding mechanism. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that set back up, and I'll go ahead and show you just how to connect this right back. One more little thing, you are gonna have to raise this up by 1 brick, and yeah, just like that. And that's all you're gonna need to do, and then you are ready to go ahead and add this, and I'll go ahead and show that real quick. And alright guys, so the absolute last thing you're gonna need to do is go ahead and take this tile off. You're gonna go ahead and want to mount this onto its final resting place, which is right here on the droid rack, just like that. And then you're gonna wanna go ahead and connect it up, just like so. This is a very awkward thing to do on camera. But yeah, once you have it all secured in, you are good to go. Just make sure the droids are not actively falling out like mine kind of are. And then you can go ahead and reel it back in, just like this. And there you go. I'll show you one more, the inside, so you can see that you absolutely cannot have more space with this. I'm going to try and make further modifications, so again, if you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing, because I'm going to try and fit more battle droids in this while keeping the exterior looking exactly the same, because I love this design. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Please drop a like and subscribe and share it around if you enjoyed the video, and support the channel in any other way if you can. I might do live streams, and just give me ideas for future videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Also, for those of you watching this far into the end, I do have a GoFundMe because I'm recently out of college and missed out on a ton of work. So I do have a GoFundMe set up to help me get back on my feet financially. And if you could go ahead, if you could go support that if you want to, I'll leave a link to that in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye.